going to make a quick little video, hopefully, about my wannabe locksmithing setup. So this all started a few months ago. Had a buddy that had a F350, and they come with a option called My Key, which allows you, I think it's basically for teenage drivers, you can set it up so they can't go over a certain speed, can't turn up the radio so loud. If you're not buckled up, the radio doesn't play, stuff like that, just some safety features. And he was bored one day, I guess, waiting for something, sitting in his truck, and was playing around with the dash and activated it. And at the time, he only had one key. So to unactivate it, you need a master key or a second key that isn't programmed as a My Key. So he was just stuck, and the radio wouldn't go up, and he couldn't barely hear when he's driving down the highway. It was pretty annoying for him. Talked to a locksmith, and they wanted, I believe he said $300 to cut a key, program it, take off the My Key. So that's where this whole journey began. With that, I told him that I would buy a Autel IM508, which is the immobilizer computer. It can do a bunch of different things. It's a code reader of sorts, a very limited scan tool. I have the 906 BT for an actual scan tool, but this one is just for keys, pretty much, mobilization. It'll, I think, I'm not sure all what it can do, to be honest with you, at this point, but I know it does keys, and it does a very good job at it so far. And so I got this, and it basically became a paperweight. I bought a key for Ford, went to my local hardware store and said, hey, can I pay you to cut me a key? And they said, no way. They only cut keys that they sell. So that kind of defeated the whole purpose. I think they wanted something like $80 for one of their keys. It's one that, it's a chip one, and they basically clone it to the current key, which would not do anything for this My Key, because it would be cloned as a My Key. The truck would still see it as two of the same keys. So that was not an option. So that's when I started looking into key cutting machines. And there wasn't very much used. I was kind of looking for a used, quality, old one, but I just couldn't find anything out there at the time. So I ran across these Defu, or however you want to pronounce it, models. And I believe this one is for the side cutting keys, like a house key, Ford key, Chevy, like that, where each side is cut. And I ran across this. I want to say it was $220. I don't even remember, 2 something. And I figured I'd give it a shot. I mean, I'm this far into it. I either keep going or I lose out on the capabilities of the IM508, because I called around and nobody would cut a key for me. Not sure why. Some said they were worried it was going to ruin their machine. I highly doubt that. I've never seen a key. There's some stainless steel keys, I believe, but most keys are made out of softer metal, and it's not going to hurt their machine. That's just an excuse, I think. So here we are. I ended up getting this, and then what I did, since Ford keys are, I don't know, I want to say $20 a piece, so I bought 100 of these Schlag, I believe that's how you pronounce it, if not, close enough, SC1 keys, made in USA, and I figured I'd practice on that, get it set up. A lot cheaper. I think it was 100 keys for $20 or something like that, and I figured I could make myself a couple extra house keys, and that's how I set up in this machine and got this one going. So this one basically, let me see if the camera's on it. Zoom in. This one basically, I'll see if I can do this without getting in the way. You put your master key in here has a blade that it will follow, and your new key in here, and it has a wheel that carves it, and it set it in, and you just kind of turn the knob and it goes. Not much to it. Pretty simple. Was pretty easy to learn on. I bought some Chevy keys. I have a Malibu that takes a key like, let me zoom out so you can see. Takes a key like this. Bought this. I messed up on this one. It cut it too deep, so I had to just take this adjustment back here for the guide, set that just a little different, and then it worked out on the next one. I mean, these are $5 or so, I believe. Nothing special. This one's garbage now pretty much, but I just keep it around. That was that. So I sold him the key. I think he said the locksmith wanted $300. I did $250. Called it good. Paid for this machine pretty much, and now we're moving on. Word got out that I had this set up, and people started contacting me. Ooh, hold on, I'm going for a ride. To do keys, which is great because it pays for my equipment now. But I had to buy this one now. This is for what I call laser cut keys, and sorry if I'm using the wrong terms. Like I said, I'm a wannabe locksmith now. And this one, actually, it was only like $160, $170, and it fairly simple. I tried out a Honda key on it with a Honda key like this. Let's see if you can see it in the package, where the edges are cut, but it doesn't go all the way through, and then you cut the backside too. That turned out great, and now I have a Chevy blade key coming in. It's going to be laser cut with a little squiggly mark down the middle. This machine will do that also. Basically same thing. Your master key goes in here, your new key goes over here, clamp them down with that, and then you just trace it. Now this one takes a little bit of setting up. That one too. That one, you gotta, like I said, I messed up on the Chevy key and had to learn on that, but this one is a little more, your height has to be perfect and everything else. It's a little more complicated to set up and get running right, and these are just cheap machines. They're made in China, but they work. There's lots of YouTube videos on them, and everybody seems fairly happy with them. There was some things I had to do to this, like I had to retap these handles so they would go in all the way. I was having trouble where it wouldn't clamp far enough. Took it out, ran a tap through, I forget what size it is, thread chaser, and it works great now. Not sure what else this is. I bought a little thing of roll pin assortments, just in case, you know, this. What I did was I bought a 10-pack of blades. So these are just replacement blades. These are a heck of a lot cheaper than the whole key. So I figure I'd practice on this in there. So if I mess up, I'm not out of key. I can easily get this guy going when he comes over. Even if it takes, I got 10 practice runs, and that'll be that. Here's a little jig I bought from UHS Hardware, not a sponsor, but they were nice enough to send me this free mat when I ordered some keys, this pin set, excuse me, this jig, and I ordered some lock rings, key rings for keys from them, a bunch of other stuff, and they sent a mat. When I opened it up, it was a nice little surprise. I was happy about that because those come in handy. You see, all the professional locksmiths was one of those, so now I can pretend to be a professional. Got some Ford keys. I've been ordering keys. I started to put together a little station. I don't know why this isn't turning. I hung this little thing on the wall that I had laying around. Been keeping keys and stuff in there. I think I need one with a bigger drawer because the bags don't fit that well. And so here's some Ford keys. I got some Chevy keys, just the regular ones. Here's a Honda key. Blades, whatnot, bunch of random stuff. Blade key, this one I got. Just for fun, I was playing around with this. I can show you a couple things I learned. I was just wanted to practice taking a pin out and whatnot. But these, let me zoom out a little. Make sure that you're actually in the, you can see what's going on. There we go. These, I came up with a couple little tricks, I think, that I didn't see when I was Googling. I had these pliers. They're kind of knurled on the end, which probably isn't the best for plastic, but at the same time, they're pretty wide, and they spread open. And they work really good for just getting in there and just popping these apart. Real gentle like. And here's your keys. Take this thing out. Your spring. Buttons. There's lots of videos on YouTube about these. Keep this in. Then you just gotta line up that little tab in the spring without dropping your computer chip. This is a little difficult without turning sideways and being all over. There you go. Oh, I still got the back cover and the battery on. Back cover just pops off. Battery comes out. So, go back. There. That goes back in. That works. So there. Just how blade keys work. I don't know if you ever use one. Hopefully you could even see that. I was way out of the picture. I am not that good at this YouTube stuff. But this jig is kind of cool. Just kind of holds it in there. Pop that pin in to hold the key. You can use a punch, because there's that little pin right there where the key has to be partway open. So this jig holds it partway open for you. You don't have to jimmy rig something. Use a punch, tap her down, good to go. Put a new one in. Boop. Alright, I don't think there's much more to that. I just want to do a quick video. I know I'll probably try and get some more videos up of actually cutting and whatnot. But just wanted to throw this up there quick so that you could see what I have set up for my wannabe locksmithing jobs. Keep adding to it all the time. Getting more and more tools. I want to get, they make a pliers to press the pins out. I think that would work better after trying this jig. I thought the jig would work pretty good, but it worked decent. Still, I didn't like pounding on it. And we'll hopefully get some videos in action and maybe some programming how-to videos. There's lots of videos on this Autel. So far, the thing's been amazing. It's done pretty much everything I've needed to. Pretty easy. I've done Chevy, Ford, Honda. Now, I know the BMWs, Mercedes at German market, there's a lot more to get into. Luckily, I don't run into very many of those cars, and I probably would not try it, because I know some of them you got to pull out the circuit board, solder to it, take a chip out, put this other thing in. It's a lot going on, and I am not that confident and don't really want to take on a job like that as of now. Who knows? I've been known to take on a little bit of everything and always want to keep learning, so we'll see. But thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try and answer my best. Like I said, I'm not a pro by any means, but I can tell you what I know and my experience along the way. For anyone else looking to get into this little, or just this little side job, I guess it would be called, or just make keys for their own vehicles, because it's pretty expensive when you go to a dealer to get a key made, and hardware stores can clone them, but that's not always the best option. So let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.